Hi guys, I am Isa, and today we're going to learn how to use Python. So anyways, the first thing we have to do is install Python. So sudo pacman sy Python 3. So you run that command if you want to install Python. So let me just go into this folder and let me make a directory. So let me make a new folder called Python. Actually, so let me make a folder called Python for course. So and then I'm going to say Vim's the text editor that we're going to be using. I'm going to say vim main.py. So you can use any code editor you want, but for now I'm just going to use Vim. So the first thing that you have to know, we're going to do is about print statements. So print statements, well, you make a print statement, just write print, and we want these two brackets. So there's the reason you need to write these two brackets is because print is a function. We'll learn more about those later. For now, we just need to learn print is a function, and any function needs to have these brackets. So anyways, now we have to put text in it. So Python tutorial. Then we save it as main.py. Let me just go into folder. Now I'm going to say Python 3. I'm going to say Python 3 main.py. It says Python tutorial. So we're gonna have multiple print statements if you want. I'm gonna print text 2. And then write Python 3 main.py. It's also gonna say text 2. And just put clear before this Python 3 main.py, so it's gonna clear the terminal before. It's gonna clear the terminal before running the Python program. So anyways, the next thing we want to learn about is variables. So to make a variable, we'll have to write the variable name. So first I'm just type this out. So it says type in Python. You have to put this hashtag if you want to tag something in Python. So tags don't actually affect your code. They're just like business text. They don't run anything. So anyways, I want to say name is equal to Isa. I'm going to write print. So we're going to say print name. So since name is not a string, because a string is a piece of text. So exist is a string. So since name is not the string, we don't have to write quotation marks. So if we save it and we run it, it's going to write the type of the name variable. Make another variable number. And before that, but before that, there's 3 types of variables. So they are string, int, and bool. So string is a string like this name variable. So to declare multiple variables in Python, just write a comma, and then the other variable we want. So just say name, number, name, and then is male. So this name is a string, the number is an integer, the bool is male is a boolean. So a string is just text, the integer is a number, and the boolean is either true or false. So name is going to equal to Isa. So number is going to equal to So I'm going to make it to generate a random number. Then I'm going to write import random. And we're going to learn about libraries. We're going to learn about libraries later. Anyways, library. So the number is going to be randint. That generates a random number. So you have to write starting and ending is 0, 100. In a comma. So the ismail is going to be true. If I print name, comma, number, comma, is male. This is 52, it's true. So 52 is the random number that it generated. For instance, again it says 28, because again it says 18, 24, 17. So it generates a random number. So anyways, so if I want to print a variable with a string, I have to write the string first. So I'm going to say name. Then I'm going to say plus name, then comma. Actually, I'm going to say plus number, and I'm going to say plus is male, and plus is male. Now if I run it, this shows an error. It's because it only concentrates string, not it's a string. So it's because this number is an integer, we have to convert that into a string. So we use the stir function to convert an integer to a string. Now it does the same error except because this is a male variable, so we use the string function on it as well. So how it says name Isa, number 3 is male, true. Now we have to add spaces in between these, so put that space here, here, and so if I save it and run it, shows that. So reset this. Now so this. So, well, but there's a simpler way to do it. The simpler way to do it is through formatted strings. So, just say print. So make a formatted string. We just learn about string first. So you have to write this if you want to put a variable in the formatted string. So just say name. We'll just say name. So it's going to be the name variable. Number. So number will be the number variable. And the ismail will be the ismail variable. Then we save it and we run it. It's not going to show the variables we wanted. So instead of showing the name variable, it just shows name. To fix that, we have to write dot format. We have to put the variables we want in order. So since name is first, actually you don't have to put variable names here. You can just put these two curly braces. So we have to write the variables that we want by the order. The format name, comma number, comma ismail. It's the same thing, but there's a simpler way to do it. So another way to do it is to use F strings. And to make an F string, just write F and then a string name. So it's this type of strings. We just write the variable name inside the curly braces. I save it, load it, it shows the same thing. So what's that string? So next thing we're going to learn about is functions. Our functions. So functions. So like if you write print, if you, it's a print statement. And there is another print statement. And write another print statement. If we want to change all of these, we'll have to be changing all of them manually. If you don't want to have to change all of them manually, we can use functions. So functions, to make a function, write a def, which means define, and then the function name. So I'm going to say, and so to say print2. Then put these two brackets, because as I said at the beginning, all functions need to have these brackets. I'll explain why later. So print2, just to say print test. And then from the print2 command a couple of times. Just have 3 times, but if I change this, and I run it, it's going to change all of them at once. So I pretty much use functions. So functions have this feature called parameters, but they're just like variables made for the function. So I want to add a parameter called num. So use these brackets for parameters. So I'm going to make an F string. That's 22 num. So here, if I say print to 50, say print to 19, here I'll say print to 25. And when it says test 50, test 19, test 25. So I'm going to go to about our keyword arguments. So usually arguments, so I'll just make a new called string. They have to write the arguments of the function by order. So since number is first, number will be first, but since string is next, string will be the next. So if we can use keyword arguments. So it's keyword. I can use keyword arguments for this first function. No, it just starts at 50. Where it's num is equal to 50, and string is equal to z. So I'm just gonna use it. So now, if I save it, it does the same thing, but it doesn't matter which order I do it. So if I write string to go to and num is equal to 5, it's still going to work. So anyways, next we're going to talk about our default arguments. So here's the default argument. Write an equals sign. So now what you want it to be. So if you specify what the string is going to be, it's going to do it. But if you don't specify what it's going to be, it's going to use the default value that you provided when you wrote the function. So in this case it's test. So it says test. Anyways, so that's all. So anyways, the next thing we're going to learn about is classes. So I'm going to just tag out all of these. So anyways, to make classes, write class and then the name of the class. I'm going to say object. So in classes, the first thing we have to do is initialize the class. So I'm going to say def underscore init. We have to put self. So this is the first function that should be in your class, because classes usually have functions in them. But before we get into that, I'm just going to put pass. So put pass if you want to put nothing. Goes to the object1 is equal to object. So I put these two brackets. And if I put object1, it says object. So it just says it's an object. So in here I'm going to say name is equal to Ismail is equal to true. So I'm going to say print object1 dot name, and I save it. It's going to say what it is. So I'm going to make multiple objects. See, opt2 is equal to object. So we're going to configure these objects. I'll say opt1 dot is male is equal to false. For opt2 dot name is equal to opt2. Now if I print opt1 dot name with opt2 dot name, opt2 dot is male. Also prints opt1 dot is male. That is actually opt2 false. But when we create our classes, if you want these things to automatically be created, you can use the init function. So let me just tag out all of these. Delete that. Underscore init. Because I have to put self. Let's say self.name is equal to Isa, and self.isMale is equal to true. Now it's also the same thing, but within this functions, put out the comma and then add parameter. Say name comma is male. Now instead of having to write a separate line, we can just define these. We can define these values when we create the class. So say name is equal to opt1 is male equal to true. Look at the same thing with opt2. Name is equal to opt2 and is male is equal to false. Now, it still shows all of these. Reason why is because we have to set the self.name and self.isMale. There's a name and isMale parameters. So now, if I run it, it says opt1 false and opt2 is true. So anyways, next I'm going to do is class functions. So I'm going to say def print stats. And you have to put self in every class function. And so say print f self dot name self dot isMale. Now instead of writing all of these, I would say opt1 dot print stats and opt2 dot print stats. Here's a task, so let me just so now it says I'm doing true, opt2 false. So that's all we're going to learn about classes. So anyways, next thing we're going to do is learn how to use the Tkinter library to create graphical applications. So I'm going to say import. I'm going to say from Tkinter import asterisk. So that's just going to import everything from the Tkinter library. So the ways to make Tkinter applications, first you need the window. So mine's going to be called root. So it says equal to tk. So tk is pretty much just a window. So if I save it and I run it, shows that because the Kinter is not installed, to install the Kinter, we have to write sudo pacman sy python 3 tk. So you just have to wait for it to finish. Actually, you just have to write sudo pacman sytk. So anyways, if I run it, it doesn't do anything. It's because we have to make this window to be looping, so because when it creates the window, it just closes the window. So to fix that, where's root.main loop? So now we have this window that has nothing in it, so let's add a piece of text to it. We'll just say my text is equal to label. So we're going to say root, and the text is going to be equal to, I'm going to say something like so now if I run it, it still doesn't show anything. Well, the reason why it doesn't show anything is because we need to put that piece of text onto the screen. So we're going to do that using the pack function. Now we have this text on the screen. So anyways, we could add foreground and background color to the text. So I'm going to make a new variable called fg. I'm going to be equal to a, b, c, d, f, and bg to be equal to 5, 5, 6 is. So let me add the background. So bg equal to bg. So the background is going to be equal to the background variable. Now it has a background, but we could also add a foreground. We're going to say fg is equal to fg now the foreground has also changed. So we can still resize the window. So anyways, you can also add buttons. So we'll just say my btn is equal to button. Let's say root comma text is equal to press. So if we run it, it's just the button also doesn't show because you have to put it onto the screen using the pack function again. So now we have this button. So anyways, we can add a on-click command to the button. So I'm going to say command is equal to root.destroy. So now if I press it, it closes the program. So I can rename this button to something like close. But we can also make the command to be our custom functions. So let me make a new function. We'll just call it def btn quick. So anyways, on this btn quick function, we'll just say print the button was clicked. So I'm going to turn this into an F string. So the button was clicked. And then I'm going to say num times. We're going to put num as a parameter. We'll set this command to lambda because when we're doing commands in sequencer, well, you can't write the parentheses, so you can't put the arguments. So we're going to use a lambda function to fix that. So lambda btn click. So I'm going to say num times equal to 0. Let's say num times now keeps on saying the button will click 0 times. So we want this num times variable to increase. So I'm going to make a new parameter called var. I want to say exec. It's going to execute a Python command. Say var. So we're going to say var plus equals 1. So I'm also going to use so I'm going to say num times so this one was clicked 0 times. So instead what we're going to do is to just increase the num times by 1. So we don't need this parameter anymore. So we can just write btn quick instead of having to use a lambda function. So anyways, I'm going to save it. Now it says that the num times variable is referenced before assignment. So what it means is that this num times variable doesn't exist in the function. But we're going to get into that later. We're going to learn how to make a simple calculator with Python. So we're going to learn how to make something like this, where you could add numbers and subtract numbers. So the reason we're going to do is to import the kinter, so which is what we're going to be using to make it. So we can do root. So it's just going to be our window. Going to equal to, because it's a variable, so to kinter dot capital T and then K in these parentheses. Is that right thing to kinter? What you can do from to kinter import asterisk, which means import everything. Now instead of having to write to kinter.tk, you can just write tk. So if we run it by pressing Ctrl B, it's not going to do anything because it actually opens the window and then immediately closes it. So we have to do root dot main loop. So the main loop, so that means it's gonna, like this. So we're going to make a variable named E. We're going to make it equal to, we're going to say entry, which is for inputs. We have to do root, and then, so we're going to do width equals to 35, border width equals to 5, and we can do e.pack to put it onto the screen. And we have this. Let me see the border width to 10, but instead of using pack, we're going to do grid, which is what we're going to be using to make the calculator. We're going to do row equals 0, and then column equals 0. Maybe like the same thing. So I'm going to do column span. So how about things that can fit in, the same column. So column span equals to 3. Because we're going to have 3 buttons, each under this text box. So we can write text on this text box and stuff. So let's make any variable named button underscore 1. We're going to equal to button to the root, comma, root text equals to 1. So that has to be a string, so we're going to do text equal to 1. And then pad x, once it's set to 40, it means pad x means padding x, so pad y is going to be equal to 20. We're going to do button 1 dot grid. So I'm going to do row equals 1, column equals 0. So row equals 1, column equals 0. We're going to add a command to this. So what happens? We're going to click the button, command, to be equal to, but we're going to use lambda. What to use this for is because usually when we're making functions in Python, I'll write the name of the function and then these parentheses. But in Kinter, when we're putting a command for a button, well, when we're using the function, we don't want zero. We have to not put the parentheses, so we will not be able to add any arguments. We can just use lambda to fix that. So then a colon, then the name of the function. The function is going to be called, I'm going to do button click the parentheses. So before we run it, we're going to add the title to the window. I want to do root dot title. I want to say ObaTech calculator. So now if I run it, so it's gonna do that. So we're going to make the button click function. So we're going to do def button click. I want to add a parameter named number. So we're going to do current. So the current numbers equals to e dot get. So what's inside of the, so what's written inside of the E. If I do print current, I'm going to, before I run it, I'm just going to add an argument to this button quick. So it's going to be 1. If we run it, so if we text and press this 1 button, if we open up our console, we're going to show that text, so if I more stuff, press that 1 button, it's going to add in that more stuff. We can do e dot delete 0, comma and, so it's going to delete the last item of it. We're going to delete the items of it. If our item thing, I press this 1 button, it's going to remove everything from it. I'm going to do e dot insert 0, so this 0, and then the string of current. We're going to do plus the string value of number. So if I run it, press the 1 button, it's going to add the text 1 to it. So we can make the other buttons. I'm going to copy this button 1, then paste it 10 times. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to change the names. So button 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, and their text. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. And if I run the project, they don't show. Notice I haven't put them on the screen. I want to do that using the squared function. So I'm going to paste it. How many buttons there are, and then replace them. There's now have all these, but so now if I run it, so it's going to show the 0 button. So I was going to do that. So the button 2, the column is going to be 1, and then the first one column will be 2. This one, the row will be 2, and the other 3s, and these row will be 3. So the columns will be 0, 1, and 2 for every 3 of them. Now it's like this. So the last button, so button 0, 1. The row is going to be 4, and the column will be 0. Now we have all these buttons. If we press any of the buttons, they just insert in 1. So we're going to change these and those button clicks and add in the parameters for the numbers they are for. Now if we press the 1 button, it says 1. If we press the 2 button, it adds 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. I'm going to add some more buttons. I'm going to put in 3 more buttons. There's something called button add. There's one called button subtract. We're just going to do button sub. It's going to be called button clear. So the button add is text is going to be plus and subtract. Text is going to be minus and button clear. Text is going to be clear. So we're going to copy these, add, subtract, and clear. The button add squares, so the row before a column will be 1. Button sub dot squared, row before a column will be 2. The button clear dot squared, row will be 5, and the column will be 0. And here are these buttons do. But the clear button we need to give it more padding. So there's the clear button, increase its padding to 120. But if we do that, go see that it messes up all the other numbers. We're going to add in column span equals 3. Look how we did the text box. Now the clear button works. But if we press all these buttons, it just writes in 0. So we're gonna turn this button add 1. Instead of lambda, it's going to be a function named button add. And the same thing for this button sub. The first one is going to be button clear. If you run it, see that because there's no function with those names. So once you do the button add, I want to do pass. We don't want to put in anything in the function yet, but we're going to put in something later. So that button pass. And then for the button sub, for the button clear, so button sub and button clear. Oh, it doesn't show those errors anymore. So first we're going to do the button clear. With the button clear, just going to use e.delete. I'm just going to do e.delete 0, comma, and. So if we write a bunch of numbers and we press the clear button, it's going to delete all of the numbers. So we're going to do that. We're going to add in one more button. It's going to be the button equal. So I'm just going to copy the button clear, make it be the button equal, and change its text to equals, and change its name to button equal. So we're going to copy the button clear with code and button equal. So it will be 6 and column will be 0, column span will be 3. So I'm going to make the button equal function to do pass. I'll put these parentheses too. Just see if I run it. And then we also have an equals button. And also change these clear and equals pad y from 20 to like 7. Now they're shorter. I'm going to make a variable named action. Action. I want to make it equal to none. So in the button add, we're going to do global action to be able to use the action variable anywhere. We're going to do first number. First number equals to e.get. So let's just have the e text box. We're going to do action equals to add. So I'm going to write global f underscore num. So I'm going to do f num equals to the integer value of first number. I'm going to do e.delete 0, comma, and. Now if we write a number and press the plus button, and that number is going to disappear and be stored in the f num variable. So in the button equal, we're going to put in global action again, and then second underscore number goes to e.get, and then e.delete 0, comma, and do if action equals to add. So if the action is add, e dot insert 0 comma f underscore num plus int second number. If we run this, I do 5 and press the plus button, then do 8, then press equals. It's gonna say 13. So I'm gonna go into the button stop and copy all the code from the button add. I'm gonna change this action equal to sub and subtract. Now in the button equal, to do if action equals to subtract or just sub. I'm gonna copy this e dot insert then instead of plus in second number, we do minus in second number. We'll do 7 plus 5. It's going to be the same. And equals going to be the same. If we do like 12 minus 6 and press the equals button, so we're also going to make this e to be longer. This goes from 35 to 50. If we want to be bigger, let's set up the buttons. So we're going to make the buttons bigger too. Set their parallax to 50. 55 in the path Y to 30. Buttons will be a bit bigger. Also do the same thing for all of the other buttons. But then that's all the other buttons except the button clear and button equal. So now they look like that. I'm just gonna make the clear button to be longer. I'm change it from 120 to 150. The equal button will be from 120 to 160. Now they're longer. I'm going to make them a bit more longer. 170. Now they're long. So we can still do the addition. If I do 50 plus 50 equals, we're gonna say 100. We'll do something like 90 minus 50 equals, we're gonna say 40. So that's the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. So bye.